Hello! Hi, everyone! Welcome to the BookStara Readalongs live show discussion for Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I love your cover so much more than this one. I'm joined by the original host for BookStara, Amy from A-Star Reads, and Danielle from BookStara has decided to take a back seat just for this one as she's in a bit of a reading slump, so it's just not going for her at the moment. So that's cool. So you have us chaotic personalities to deal with tonight or today, whatever works, wherever you are. And yeah. So,
I'm so excited.
Hi, Shazza.
Hi, Mama.
I love your book so much. The cover envy is real. Like, this is a library copy, but I'm thinking I will.
Shazza.
Sorry,
she's talking. Shh, you gotta be quiet.
In the naughty corner. Naughty corner for you.
That's a library copy?
Yeah, and I think I'm going to buy my own editions because one thing that I noticed, like, I didn't need to annotate City of Bones, but for this I felt like I should have. So I'm also going to be dependent on you to bounce my brain back.
Okay, I didn't annotate anything, but
but like I can't remember things like when it's a 688 page tome. So I think I'm going to buy my own editions for the next two, just so then I'm not dying.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I had found this at a thrift store at one point, this version, and then when I was looking on Amazon to try and get, because I had been looking for these copies in thrift stores and whatnot, and I couldn't find them anywhere. So I was looking on Amazon, so like, oh, I got to get it before, whatever. And they only had those ones, for the TV show. I don't like books. I don't like the TV show, the movie tie-ins. I don't like those.
Yeah, like I like the actors. It's not the worst looking cover I've ever seen, but
Yeah. So I ended up buying these at the other ones at Barnes & Nobles because they were the only ones that had the matching sets. So. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, Shazza. I love being Australian some days.
I love you being Australian all the days.
Hello.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Antonisha.
Aunt Tisha.
Hello.
Hey, Jane.
I remember a discussion on you needing to have the matching.
Yes.
It would have been your daily vlogs, and your mum was talking about the Patricia Cornwell ones, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll just get whatever." And then, so I've shown that to Ash because I don't have matching sets because I used to just thrift, and so I didn't really care. And then I started dating Ash, and he's like, "You need to get matching. This hurts me deeply."
He's a horrible influence.
So now, like, I aspire to have matching. I don't know if I'll be. Let's see if I can just. So that is my Robin Hobb shelf.
Yep.
That is my Raymond Feist. None of them match at all.
Quite a few of the Robin Hobb ones match, though.
I've managed to find the Fool's Fate and Golden Fool in the tall ones, but then I have the small one in the same sort of style for the third book, and then Ship of Magic and Mad Ship I've got in the tall ones, but then Ship of Destiny, they sent the little edition, which is the one on the corner. It's bad. So,
I mean,
yeah.
It's really not that big of a deal. It doesn't bother me as much as it does some other people, but I do, especially a set of books that I really like, that I know I will reread over and over again. I want a nice set, and if I can get it, the set that matches, then I want to. So I'm just not in a rush, but I'm so slow to read books anyway, so I'm not in a rush to get anything.
I like because I went to find based off the ISBN for the Ship of Destiny one.
Mhm.
And like I was thinking, yeah, I'll read it, and then I still haven't read it. But I got the wrong ISBN, so they sent the little one with the same cover, not the tall one. And I was like, God fuck.
Yeah, I know. That would be because it doesn't like if it's on a shelf, it doesn't match each other either. So it makes putting your books all together kind of wonky.
And that's Ash's thing. Like he likes it being uniform. If it's wonky, like I have what is it? The Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Nobel. I've got Sleeping Giants in a little one. I've got the second one in like a slightly taller, and then the third one in like a tall, regular, tall paperback size. So they go up, so it's fine.
I think that's okay. That's actually kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, that works.
I can't say anything. My shelves are ugly. Other people have their shelves looking beautiful with all color or coordinated. Mine are, it's alphabetical, so none of the books work, they don't look good at all. So, I can't really say too much.
Mine are whatever my brain decides to do on the day that I'm
good.
reorganizing.
It looks good. Oh, disaster. You're getting attacked over there.
Baby, I was just like, my shelves, and then my tripod's just fallen.
The ghost.
Yes. Anyway, Indonesia loves the copy that you have. Very nice. Oh, that's not ideal.
Oh
Did
no,
you buy your secondhand, or was that? Or have you
that
read
could
it
be
that
the
much?
frustrating thing with it peeled off though. Is there a plastic?
Like that would make sense with mine. Like
Because it
even though
has
it's
the
a library
plastic bit.
edition, yeah,
Yeah.
there's like the cardboard bit, and I can
Yeah.
see that separating.
Yeah.
Not that I'm
And this
going
doesn't
to.
have plastic. This is just paper. So sorry, Tracy. And hi.
Have to match. It's whatever I find.
Audiobooks. Oh no, that would drive me nuts. I couldn't do like audiobooks in action. I have to have the books.
For me, it's the one that springs to mind is the Wicked Villain series, because I haven't owned the first three, but then I've read them on my wish list, and then Mel kindly got me the fourth one for my birthday. So I only own the fourth one because I listened to the audiobook and ebooks of the other three, which I'm not mad about because I will go and buy the other three eventually. But I'm like, there's just the fourth book.
So you're like, but that's not quite, but yeah, it's great.
But we'll get there. Like,
feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it have to match in size or cover or both?
Like the edition, like I would say the same edition. So, if the editors, not editors, but the editors or who the publishing company puts out. Yeah, the publishers. Thank you. That's what I meant. If the publishers put out a set of editions, I would want them to be the same editions. Ideally. Obviously, like we were picking up some Agatha Christie. Like if Agatha Christie, I would feel differently about because they're not a set series, but it'd be nice to get as many of them that are kind of the same, just so when you put them on your shelf, they fit well because they're all the same size.
Yeah.
But I don't care all that much. Maybe I do. I don't know. Okay, shell.
Library sales make sense. Like,
I've been having a hard time finding the last two of the Mortal Instruments series because I can't find the two paperback, the kind that I have. Like I found all the other ones, but the last two I haven't yet found them.
Which one were you collecting?
You mean the
Oh, you've got the ones on the. Yeah. Oh God, I don't know where to source those.
I'll find the last two. I just haven't found them yet. And they have so many of these at thrift stores, so they're actually like everywhere I go, I find some Cassandra Clare. I just have to keep looking. I'm not worried. We're not there yet.
With the picture on the spine, like I just bought all of them. But then
those are prettier.
The colored ones, which I really like, and now I'm like, oh, do I want the rainbow set instead? oh dear, I've already got a complete set of the other ones, and then I got Ash to buy me the matching editions of the next series in the spine ones. Well, yeah.
How much do you like the series? That's my question. And that's a big, like, do I love it enough? We'll see.
No. Based off the first book, logically, no.
Oh, logically, you know.
We're book readers. What's logic?
That's right. Yeah. If I have,
I mean,
yeah.
if I'm buying a whole series in one go, then yes, it needs to match because it just seems counterintuitive not to. But like my Sarah J. Maas, I've got the old editions of the Throne of Glass, no, Court of Thorns and Roses, and then I don't have the novella because I can't find it in the same edition. And I'm just like, do I just go buy the giant, the miniature blue vibrant thing?
It's not going to match, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's, well, it's the same with my Robin Hobb. The collection of her short stories is more like probably the ones you have.
Yeah.
But it's not like the Bantam mass market paperbacks I've been collecting. Yeah. So
I love your mass market. They're so funny.
But I love the cover. It's so like 1990s.
It's great. And like, I wish I owned them, but I'm glad that I don't. So then I get to see it through yours, and I'm like, that's a good cover. Can't do color-coded shelves. That, yeah. So
same. You and I, Antonisha.
I can't do colored. I can't do color.
Yeah, I can't either because I like genre and then alphabetical. That's exactly what I do. Alphabetical last name.
Mine's sort of skewy, but it makes sense to me.
That's what matters, yeah.
The Robin Hobb shelf and all that, that's all like authors that I adore. So I've got Tu Dahl, Tamora Pierce, Hobb, Feisty, and then Schwab. And then this main one, I've got standalones, my favorite shelf, my hardback sort of ones, usually. And then standalones, funky ones, and then series. And then it continues on out there as series and then nonfiction. So it's not by genre, but it's sort of by type. And it's all alphabetical by last name.
And that makes sense. That makes it like however the organization is. But yeah, I have a really hard time with how would you find your books if they're all by color? I don't know. I know people do it. And it looks great.
It does. No. I'm chaotic, but I can't do that chaos. I need some structure to my chaos.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's weird that it's peeling then.
Yeah, that is weird.
Use paperback with the showing cover. So I could, that make that.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
The others are fine. Well, that's good.
That's weird. Found to use something, but it was not the right cover, so we left it.
On your vlog thing, you were saying you were going to pick something up. Yeah. I think that's what was referenced.
She's my mom, and I don't even know.
And it's like, how close attention was I paying to your videos? Apparently,
better than me.
So you're too stressed about getting it up to worry about what was actually in it.
Yeah, I hope it turned out okay. I don't know. I never saw it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love your B-roll. Like, it's just so much fun.
Thank you. It was fun. We had a good time. It was wonderful, not relaxing in the vacation sense, but I didn't think about work or actually didn't think about BookTube aside from like that. Yeah. I mean, aside from that, I didn't think about work or school the whole time. Like that was awesome.
That's what you need.
That is exactly what I needed. And school it was nice to have a break. Okay.
Yeah. Agatha Christie's, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you paper too hardcover. I can't anymore. Oh dear, I'm gonna have a hard time. I'll figure it. I'll find them.
have all the same art, but not the same. So that would be the same as Antonisha. That's so funny.
Okay. I may have a hard time getting, because I have seen the hardbacks for the other two, and I'm like, I keep holding out. Like, no, I'm gonna find the paperbacks.
If they're $2, like,
Yeah.
I'd get
Yeah.
them and then just replace them, because
True.
you could also make a small fortune off reselling those paperbacks, like the hardcovers. They go for a small pun.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can be bothered.
That's the problem.
That just didn't no energy for that. Tracy. Like, I am chaos.
I'm closing my eyes. I didn't see that. All black books. Yeah, that was Stephanie from Stephanie's Verse.
Oh,
Stephanie's
right, yeah.
Stephanie's
book verse. She does the TBR Star Hop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great game. But all her books are she's taken off the bindings of all her hardbacks, and it looks great. Like, the aesthetic is beautiful, but
yeah, nah. But then she still manages to do the 10 seconds to find the thing, and I'm like,
she does. So she just knows her books that well, I guess.
Shelf is author last name. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I sent you a pic on Instagram. Yes. That is the one I am looking for.
Anthony's taking care of you.
Yes. Is it the right? Oh God, the size, like.
How many? Yeah.
It's
how many size?
It's not the small, but not big small.
Really precise.
Nothing.
Really precise.
I don't even have anything close by to help. I got nothing. It's like the same size as those inches. What are inches?
Exactly.
That is not a measurement I use frequently unless I'm saying my height. Oh, too funny.
I think we could do centimeters on our millimeters, centimeters on our
my ruler doesn't even have an inches.
It doesn't? We got to do things, special here in the US, because we're special. Unique.
With a capital K.
Yeah.
No, mine don't have it on either.
Well, then we can convert. We can do the conversion. Don't worry. Figure out in millimeters or centimeters, and we'll do the conversion.
You don't have to bust. It's okay. It's fine.
Antonisha, make sure you measure it in centimeters.
Shall we talk about the book?
Yeah, I think we should talk about the book. 18 minutes in, and are we here for sprints, or are we here for discovery of witches?
Either. We're all good. Ooh. Okay. How did everyone like it?
What was your rating?
I don't know how to do this shit. I just wait for you guys.
You're here now, Paige. You're in this.
I know. All right. Amy, what was your rating for Discovery?
My rating was 5 stars. 5 stars. I love this. This is my kind of paranormal fantasy. This is my kind of paranormal fantasy. I liked I love this so much. I love the detail. I really do like that. It did, like, some people were comparing it to Twilight and then Anne Rice, because Anne Rice is very overly detailed. So I felt like this was the right level of detail, but it was also so much of the history, which I found fascinating. The alchemy, all the historical elements that she incorporated, the Knights of the Lazarus, all that stuff. So cool. Yeah, and I was fascinated by that. I loved the tension. I am totally all about Matthew.
Yep.
I am. Totally into that. And liked the characters. I liked all the characters. I liked the addition of characters as we went along. Like, I liked some of the characters that got added in. And I am so excited for the next step. Like, I'm so excited to go back in time. Like, yeah, I'm thrilled. I just can't wait. Okay, sorry. Okay, go.
For me, I'm giving it a 4.5. Like, I rounded it up to 5 on Goodreads, just because I feel like it is deserving of that. But for me, I just know that it's not the 5 stars, if that makes sense. And I think for me, it is because it was long in history, and that's not like something that I can head over heels love. I appreciate like the mythology elements, the paranormal elements of it, and all of that incorporated into it was great. But for me, I also got lost a little bit sometimes just with all of the history and like everything that she was mentioning, because that is her passion, which I loved. I loved that aspect of her. But when she was actually talking about it, I was like, it's not retaining any information, because like me and history just don't see eye to eye. Like, I've never, if people say names and dates, I'm like, sorry. That was the only reason like it wasn't a 5-star, but that's a subjectively me thing. And I know that. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to mark it down for something that's just my own little quirk. And the fact that it was adding to her character and it helped progress the story and it helped to add in all those different elements. I loved that. I loved that aspect of it. So I was like, not mad at all. It read so quickly, like so gosh darn quickly for something this thick. I was like, oh dear Lord, I'm going to die. But no, it just, you flew through it. And I feel like a lot of comments in the Discord were saying how quick they read through it as well. There was a few comments being like, I'm stuck at this point and I'm stuck at that, but most of it was shoom, like speed through.
Yeah, sorry, my dog is going crazy, so yes, and I did see that, and there, it definitely was not a book that was propelled by a lot of action. And so I could see that it wouldn't work so much for some people who felt like it was a little more slower moving. I don't mind that too much. And yes, the history was a lot, and there were so many details. And I think it worked for me because I love history. So I liked the name dropping of those people in history. And I'm like, oh, that's clever. Oh, that time period. Like I was impressed by Deborah Harkness. I just didn't realize she was that. I don't know much about her, so I didn't realize she was that knowledgeable.
Yeah, and like that, you know, you can tell that she's got history in her life. Like she researches and she is a scholar as much as Diane was as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I agree with you that it read very fast. It took me a while, but just because it was a book that I was spreading out over a long time. But when I would sit down to read it, the amount I planned on reading every day, I'd read very quickly, and so it was a quick, easy read for me. Yeah.
So let's see. So Tracy gave it, so didn't read it again this time, but it was 5 stars for them years ago. Shazza was 4.75, lost in the last 10 pages.
She was hoping I guess that there was more of a cliffhanger, or that there was a little more action right at the end.
It really just mellowed into setting up for the next book, which like for some readers is great and love that like slow intrigue. So now we're going to pick up and just take off. I feel like they're going to step in time and it's going to go boom. But for some people, they want to end with them like at the cataclysm and not having done the jump.
Right.
And waiting for book 2 for that. So yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. One of my absolute favorite series, 5 stars. Thank you.
21 centimeters tall, 14 centimeters wide.
I appreciate your children having centimeter rulers. Here we go. I caught a frost, so I can deal with that later and not forget my brain, which I'm prone to do. Cool. Thank you. 4.5, very nice. 5 stars. Loved everything with the knights and history and alchemy. And I think maybe for me, like a combination of alchemy. I love the concept of alchemy, but I always get lost in the science because I'm not a science person. So that might have had like a tiny little contributing factor, but probably not much because it was very basic alchemy.
Yeah. There was a lot of science in this book, though. There was a lot of science, especially with the genetics, and
Yes.
it was in depth. It was in depth, even for me, and I do science. You know, like science is
I
what I
do.
got my degree in. I do science, and that's what I got my degree in. But there were points where I'd have to keep going back and rereading it because of those moments where and I was trying to understand it. Like you could easily skim forward through some of that stuff and not make a difference. But I wanted to understand exactly what they were talking about, and there were some parts that were dense when it came to the science.
Yeah,
and
I think I sort of like the genetic markers were so interesting, and I know that it's going to play a future bit, obviously because that's what they're setting up for. But yeah. Cool. And then watching the show,
they did a fairly good job of tying back to those, they had the original conversation about the genetic markers, but then later on, when those things started showing up in Diana, they felt like they did a good job of tying back to that original conversation. So even if you didn't get it when you first read it, later on, when you're seeing these things appear in Diana, they kind of she kind of brought that conversation back in. So that was kind of nice.
Yes, that helped a lot. Because it's like, oh, good. I now understand the stuff that I didn't understand.
Yeah. So at least she did that, because that would have been very complicated if not.
Yeah. And then Antonisha watched the show and it really brought it together.
You didn't watch the show?
Oh, missed it. There it is. So she finished the book in 2 to 3 days, working all day, and then watched the entire first season in one sitting.
Okay.
How would you say they compare?
Yeah, and I haven't watched it yet. I do want to watch it. Let's see.
I love history and the paranormal aspects, and I think because you can travel with paranormal creatures throughout history, they've got more of a lifespan than humans, so like they can invest in those long terms, like becoming historians because they've lived through the history, or being scientists because of the technological, they were there previously, like to have all of that knowledge to bring it up and just make it in the present, which I found a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was really cool too. Yeah. Excuse me.
Better time this as a reread since I was able to follow the history.
I can see that. I can see that. And I think this would be a series that you could easily read it again and catch stuff that you didn't get the first time.
Yes, it's not just about the overall plot. There's so much more in depth that you can take away and appreciate on a reread and actually, like, you know, follow it and go, oh, okay, I know what's going to happen. So now I can pay attention to those little minute things and make those ties that I didn't the first time.
Yes, I totally agree.
First reading was in 2011 when it was first published. Oh no!
That would be so awful. I'm so sorry, Vanessa.
I'm so glad we just get to speed through and can just. Well, we're not even speeding through it because we've got a month between each book, but.
No, but that we're going to have it done by this year, though, and that we can get to the next book rather than having to wait years or into the next year, what have you.
Oh,
that would be terrible.
Love that.
Poor Vanessa.
And the DNA mapping was awesome, especially,
so cool.
See, I've never done any ancestry or anything like researching my family history, so I'm like, I'm intrigued. Will I actually do anything about it? Probably not, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I told Antonisha early on that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to live vicariously through you because there's no way I'm doing that. So I told her, like, please share more about your about your interest, researching your family, because I won't be doing any of that, but I'd love to hear about other people doing it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm totally in the same boat with that. The alchemy was a bit confusing, but didn't take away.
Yeah. Especially the scenes where she was looking over the art pieces and trying.
Yes.
Yes, that was confusing for me. There were times when I'm like, if I don't know the significance of this, is it going to affect, I was thinking, will it
Yeah,
affect my
yeah.
enjoyment? And I, I still think there are things that I don't really understand, that if I go back maybe on a reread, I might understand it a little better.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just never understand it.
I think potentially as well in the next two, they will come back to play. I don't feel like with what you said earlier, the fact that she drew back that conversation with the DNA, I feel like she will draw back those conversations and actually bring it back to the forefront again and sort of just touch base with it and be like, remember this, like,
Yeah.
here we go, which is nice.
It is, yeah, and I'm hoping that that's the case, because the alchemy stuff is still probably, compared to like the history I feel okay about and the science I'm feeling okay about, the alchemy stuff is where I still feel like I'm hazy, and that's not, yeah.
Maybe it'll make more sense as I do my calling for Magical Readathon, which is an alchemist.
Oh yeah, you should know all about this, Paige. I'm coming to you as the expert now.
Oh dear. Let's watch me fail my career in August.
Paige, we are expecting you to know everything here on out. Well, actually, at least after the spring equinox. So once that's over,
only the first half of my studies. Don't come to me till after August. That's when I'm supposed to be trained.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
100%. So the TV show follows very closely to the book, and there's a lot of political intrigue and more backstory on all the characters. I'd be curious to see, I'd be curious to see in future books if we get that backstory or if it's just the TV show sort of just putting creative liberty on.
Yeah, I'm guessing, because the first book is supposed to be the whole first series. So, like, I think if you read, the first book is the whole first series of the show. So I think if you read the first book and you watch the first season, then you're safe. Like, you won't have gotten into any of the stuff that's in the second book. So I would imagine then they have to take some liberty if there's more.
Yeah. And I feel like we got a decent amount of backstory.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see the difference.
Yeah, and then the political intrigue, meaning the congregation, like the politics between all the creatures, is my.
I'd feel like that's probably where it's at. Interesting. I can't sit through TV shows. Like, Ash and I are watching Cardcaptor Sakura and Avatar, which are 20-minute episodes, and I'm lucky to get through like 3 in a row. If that. Like, usually we do 1 Cardcaptor and then 2 Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the attention span for long things, so I'm probably not gonna watch it. But I'm curious to hear what everyone else thinks.
Do you have any problems with BookTube?
No.
Oh, how funny.
I usually won't watch anything that isn't like yours or Antonisha's that are over 40 minutes.
You don't have to watch our long ones.
But I want to. I like your long ones. There is a lot of time that I'm going, oh dear God, like looking through my watch later, I'm like, there is like 5 videos over 40 minutes. Oh dear.
Stress.
But I watch it on 2 times speed anyway. But I still can't.
On your toes.
Yeah. That was like when I edited my vlogs and they were an hour long. I was like, who's going to watch this? But people do, because people like long form content. I just can't pay attention for that long.
Especially vlog
videos. Yeah.
I think I have more patience for longer vlogs than I do for some other types of videos.
Yeah, and TBR games, like, because I know the longer they are, the more chaos there is. So I'm not mad about that. Not mad about that at all. But like, if it's an hour-long wrap-up, I'm like, I can't. I know.
I couldn't stand making wrap-ups anymore. So for me, I just couldn't do it anymore. So that's why I started doing my Sunday sum ups, because I was like, I just can't stand. I don't want to do a wrap up. And every month I was like, I don't want to do a wrap up. I mean, I know people like doing them. I just couldn't stand doing it anymore for me. So I was like,
Yeah.
no, I can't. It's stressing me out every month.
Well, and do you like doing the Sunday sum ups instead though?
Yeah, I do.
They
That's all that
like
matters.
it's the same. You're
It's a
still
wrap up.
wrapping up your reading,
Yeah,
just doing
I
it
know.
weekly instead
It's
of
once a
monthly.
week.
And that if that works though, and like you get to see a little bit more of you in it
Mm-hmm.
as well. Whereas the wrap up, it's like, here's the book that I read, I gave it
Right.
this, da 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 da. Whereas with your sum ups, it's like, this was what I was doing this week, and I had so much fun, and I read this whilst doing this, and da da da. And that's a much more pleasant watching experience as well. But
yeah, I hope. Thank you. You see the funk. Okay.
Sorry. So yeah, the political intrigue,
Okay.
the congregation.
Okay, good. That was
Meet Nathaniel and Sophia early in the show and learn a lot more about their history. Interesting.
okay.
I liked Nathaniel and Sophie.
I did too. I like them a lot. I really like Sophie, especially because she's in that mother, like that nesting phase, and she's so
Yeah.
sweet. And then
Oh,
Nathaniel,
Phil.
and then eating all the cookies. It's so cute.
Yes, I love cookies.
I was like, oh, that's me. And then Nathaniel and his like animosity towards Matthew, which made sense because Nathaniel's got a pregnant wife, like so obviously he's in that protective mode too, and then but Matthew's always in that protective mode too. So the two of them are basically the same person, in that moment.
Yeah, 100%. I have yet to read it. I'm here to see if I should add it to my unread pile. Okay. What streaming service? The show is on Shudder, AMC, and I believe Sundance. I have no idea what any of those things are.
That's not good. Okay.
They are not the services that I use.
No, me neither.
I've got Netflix, Paramount, Disney Plus, and Stan. That's it.
I've got Netflix. Now I have Peacock, HBO Max,
Peacock?
Hulu. Yeah, because there was a show I wanted. It was only on Peacock. So,
I've never heard of Peacock. I've heard of Hulu, like that one. We don't have it in Australia, but I know of it. I don't think we have it in Australia.
Amazon Prime. Although some of these they're not mine. Just don't tell anybody. They're shells.
I'm the same.
Okay, well, I can't wait to look for, sign up for another service.
And then politics was the least favorite part. Yeah, I felt like it hasn't been fleshed out that well. Like the congregation just sent others to, like, we understand what it's made of, but they were sort of just like sending figureheads and was like, you go deal with this before we have to see them, because like they didn't have to be involved as much, but I understand.
I did find it interesting about the congregation that they are so hard on they have to work together because it's a group of demons, vampires, and witches. So they obviously have to deal with each other all the time when they're doing congregation work. But they're so stuck on there can be no inter species relationships whatsoever, and yet these people work together so closely all the time. Like, do they hate each other? Are the meetings like these really awful where they could killing each other at any moment kind of situations? Like, I'm very curious what the congregation actually looks like, as far as how they work.
I'm curious to see the development of, because we've got a witch, a demon, and a vampire. Like,
yes.
I'm seeing the stepping stones, and I would appreciate that to continue. So I'm hoping that that's something that gets explored.
Yeah, what did Sophie call it? Like a septical, or what was she?
Yeah.
Septical?
How am I supposed to find that?
Something ickle? It was something ickle.
It was like a scepter. There are too many pages for me to find this.
I know. I'm having the same problem. This is why it's good to annotate. Everybody, just so you know, this is why it's good to annotate.
In.
Everybody knows. What's it called? Just put it in the.
Nope.
Nobody knows yet. But Sophie kept mentioning, "Oh, we have just the right." And then once Hamish came, then they had the right amount of people to have their little something unfold.
I think I'm in the right spot for it. Are there more cookies? Conventicle.
Conventicle.
No?
Oh, conventicle.
Is that right?
How do you
A
spell it?
conventicle. That's what they call a gathering of dissenters in the old days.
Oh, dissenters. Oh, okay. But they could form their own congregation.
Yes.
It's conventicle. How cool. That's exciting. I like the whole group. You know, we were talking about the people in Mortal Instruments quite a bit and how we had some issues with some of the characters in Mortal Instruments. I love most of the characters in this book.
Yes.
Mythical.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Like nice to enjoy all the characters. Do you enjoy them, or are there certain characters you're not as crazy about?
I mean, I don't particularly like Juliet. Not that she's an issue anymore, though.
I don't like her either. She was creepy.
But her character was exceptionally done, even for the short time that we saw her. And Gerbert, hibbitibbis.
Like those ones are good bad characters. Like it's good how bad they are. I like that.
Yeah,
I do like that.
It's not like with Valentine, who's like
who's a villain?
Yeah, but the a caricature of like the big bad. He's, over the top. I'm going to give you a monologue about how I twirled my mustache, like fuck off. Whereas these, we saw the danger. Like not Yasuo, that's his mum. The in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, god damn, that was intense.
Oh, with that one, what was her name? Satu.
That's it.
Oh, she was.
That was
horrible.
crazy.
And it was interesting because, we're in most of these kind of paranormal books, you're always taught to fear most the vampires, or they're always the bad ones. But in this, the witches are wicked. I mean, they're so bad, and you see that with
protecting you from the big bads. And it's like, no, but you could also draw commentary on our society that those that are in your corner might not necessarily always be trust your own judgment on who you are, rather than just going in the same vein of things, because they're not always got your back. If anything, they're going to torture you and make a nice wax seal on your back instead.
I know. That is so sick. Like, yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. And seeing the way her own people, the witches, were treating her, just it does. You're right. It has a very good social commentary about society and how you can never trust. You have to trust your gut, and you.
Yeah.
I was okay. This is so different, but I was curious what you. I was kind of not. Wow, that's not working. Okay, so Marcus and Nathaniel created this relationship. I didn't quite see how that happened, because all of a sudden they're like Hamish and Matthew, but Marcus and Nathaniel. Was supposed to be kind of like how. Why are they so close all of a sudden?
I'm not sure. I think it's like the protector vibes, and then having to do with the knights. He's just taken that responsibility, and he knows that he has to take over. So then he's like just absorbing into that role. Whereas Nathaniel and Matthew constantly clashed, I think.
Yeah.
So then he was trying to just be that middle ground and work towards the end goal rather than just causing more conflict, I think. But it was not well
built up, because I was like, wow, Nathaniel and Marcus, it kept talking about how they would stand together and they talk to each other and they're constantly in conference with each other, and then almost like they were like bro, you know, like a bromance.
Yeah.
There was a total bromance.
Yeah, 100%.
And I was like, is this supposed to be like Matthew and Hamish are a bromance of their own, and now we're having Marcus and Nathaniel as a bromance?
I feel like, yeah, that would be what it's going, but there was no like sort of development behind it. Yeah.
I thought it was cute, but I didn't get it.
Yeah. It was like, oh, okay. It's nice that like they're playing fair considering, you know, everyone else is, he's being a dickhead to Matthew and Matthew right back at him. But at least he can have one friend.
Yeah, and
Marcus.
I did too. Like, he was very good about being a peacekeeper, even though he's a vampire. You know, vampires tend to be a little more sharp of personality, but he was very good about everybody. He was trying to include everybody, you know, make everybody feel comfortable and take care of everybody emotionally, I felt.
Yeah. I think that ties in well. Like, vampires are bad, but they play by the rules, and there are a lot of rules. And Marcus is trying to keep that peace because he doesn't want to break those rules and make it more chaotic than, you know, what it needs to be.
Because Matthew sure has broken the rules.
Yes, just, you know, a couple of trillion times, it's fine. Was done by to lead it, Marcus. Yeah.
Not enough build-up. Like, I'm not mad about it. I really liked it, but I just didn't get it. Why they became so close so quickly. Yeah.
And you know, you're in a time of war, so you build bonds a little bit faster than, you know, just every day, hey, how you going? There's not, you know, a giant group of people trying to kill us or anything.
True, that's a good point.
So maybe we'll just leave it to creative leniency this time. The situation just, you know, they just vibed.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like Diana and Matthew falling in love like overnight. So similar.
I love that they addressed it though. I love that they said, like, you haven't known me for that long. Yeah, but like, I don't give a shit.
It's like telling all those haters out there, like me, who I'm not a hater at all, but I was like a little fast. But you're saying like, oh well, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you.
Yeah, and like actually addressing that and saying like, yes, I'm aware of this fact. What of it?
I feel like they were set up though to be something, because, you know, the fact that there's so much that's tying them together, obviously in the magic, but also like the fact that her parents knew Matthew, didn't know Matthew in particular was going to be there, but knew someone like Matthew was going to be there. And then the fact that these pieces of, what was it, the chess piece, Sophie ended up with the chess piece and a couple other, something else, or the house had it. Who had it, the Sophie or the house?
Sophie gave her the chess piece.
Okay.
And the house gave them a letter and a couple other tokens.
Yeah. So the fact that those things came up, and he was freaking out, like, how did you get these? There's something that,
yeah. There's definitely a fated bond between them.
Right.
Which, like, I'm not mad about.
No, I'm not either.
And I used to be the kind of person that went like, oh my God, you can't be in love with them within a day. Like, that's not possible, even though teenage me was definitely like that. But Ash and I matched on Tinder. We FaceTimed for 3 hours, and then he was basically moved in like a week later.
So wouldn't know, you know.
I can't counteract that. I just, that happens.
Yep.
So, like, I'm like, okay, I can understand how this might happen. Understandably, that there is more going on and that there is magical influence that is also propelling this relationship. But I understand and then he's a vampire. He knows what he wants. He's experienced enough. Like,
he has. I mean, and that's what's so cool about it, is he's like over 1,500 years old.
Yeah.
So he has seen so much, and it's fun to see him experience something new for the first time.
Yeah.
considering he's
He's
been
so cute.
alive for so long. I love it. It makes him so innocent to me, even though he's not innocent, but
He's not, but
it does give him a certain innocence that I just love. I just love to see that side of him in this.
sorry, my brain just went on a tangent with like talking about innocence, and I was like, the sex scene that happened, didn't it? He'd be a right expert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then because they learn each other in that process as well. Like,
Yeah.
One thing I found a little bit weird was
Mm.
you're now married to me
Mm.
because you said I love you and that's it. I was like, little bit possessive there, mate. Just maybe consent to marrying her before she does the things that then in your eyes make her married to you. Just maybe.
He wasn't very good at communicating those things to her, was he? Especially not at the beginning. And giving her the choice. Like, if you say this, you are bound to me forever based on vampire rules. Yeah.
Which then she would then be able to go, yeah, I'm fine with that. Here we go. And I could totally see that. But I was just like, consent is a thing. You would think after like as many years as you've lived, you'd sort of establish that one. Hopefully.
I wonder when this was written.
2011, I think.
Okay.
So
yeah. No, I thought about that a few times during this because there was definitely a strange, that the possessive relationship in this, as much as I loved Diana and Matthew together, there were definitely moments where I was like a little cringy, like we're bordering on something that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I still liked them well enough that I was like,
it's not gonna.
There was no harm in the long run, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's okay,
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And the fact that we know that she would have consented regardless, like, but it's just like, oh.
Yes, my little brain goes, oh.
I think that was another of those lessons that Yasuo was trying to teach her about vampire. Yeah, and she was like hinting towards it, and she's like, huh.
I could care. I really love Isabeau. I love her character.
She's beautiful. I'm so sad. My heart is not okay.
I love characters like that, though. Characters that are frightening, but also you see the humanity in her and how much she now loves Diana, even though she still doesn't trust the situation. Like, I like that tension a lot. Yeah. I think it's fantastic.
An expertly crafted character.
Yeah. Big fan.
She's so precious but so vicious.
Yes, I love it.
And I love that hilarious.
Oh yeah. Oh, she is. And then there's the fact that she placates Matthew, like, whatever. Yeah, Matthew, no problem. I won't do it again. But I also love that Diana called her when she was feeling she needed to be mothered, and the only person she felt like she could talk to in that moment was Isabeau, and she did, and she was just like, I love that moment. Yeah, I did. I very much did. It was so good.
Yeah, there isn't a character that I dislike in this.
Same.
Like, they all fulfill a great role in their character types. Like, I don't like Satu or Robert or any of the villains. I don't like them, but I like their characters as villains. They creepy motherfuckers.
Definitely.
But also and then you've got soft cinnamon rolls, and then you've got the hard ass witty bitches, and
like Miriam. Yep.
What was the Martha?
Oh yeah, Martha. I always called her Martha.
I was listening to the audiobook and I'm still not sure.
Martha. Okay.
Martha. I loved her character, that she was just there and so like supportive and just there to help get through and do whatever that needed to be done.
And she was so capable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't feel like anyone was portrayed as weak, both of mind or physical. Like,
I think the closest would be Emily, but she's not. She's just more gentle. You know, she's a lot
yes,
more sympathetic, empathetic. So she's the only one that I wouldn't say she's weak in any way, but I would say she has a different type of strength, which I like. I
yeah,
like seeing that soft strength, that empathetic strength, which I think is really important too. You need people like Emily to support everybody else who is these hard personalities, like good, strong personalities, but clashing and can be difficult. So you've got people like Emily and Marcus who can kind of, and Sophie too. The three of
yeah.
those can tone the rest of them down.
But yeah, it's just like thinking to, City of Bones. There
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of characters that I don't feel have, like, they try to be that character, but they're not. They're just spineless. And that's not a character type that I like.
Right.
So not having any of that, everyone has that inner strength was just like beautiful.
Yeah, I loved that too. I totally love that too.
Martha or Marth.
Yeah, not sure.
The house, his mum's earring.
Okay, yes. So see the house and Sophie, so it's all coming together from different. It's
But
faded.
The house at the end.
Oh, what happened there? I don't understand what exactly happened.
I thought it went up in smoke.
No, the house didn't.
Didn't it?
No, it threw the coffin down into the fire.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
And something, I guess, in the coffin there was vampire blood and witch blood. Was it both of their bloods?
Yeah, and I thought that it exploded and set the house on fire. Maybe I'm reading a different book.
It says 2 gobbets of blood and mercury released from the hollow chambers inside the ampulla by the heat of the fire chased each other around the surface of the book before falling into the grate. There they seeped into the soft old mortar of the fireplace and traveled into the heart of the house. I don't think that means.
Oh. Okay.
When they reached it, the house sighed with relief and released a forgotten forbidden scent. What is this forgotten forbidden scent? I feel like
sure.
we have we not been listening to what anybody's been saying? We're just, sorry guys, we're off on our own thing. Yeah, what is, so, and it said the scent was, cinnamon, blackthorn, honeysuckle, and chamomile. Dancing in the air. But Sarah didn't smell it.
I'm so excited.
I'm so
excited to keep going.
Me too. Oh, me too.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. I think that's what it was. Too far away to perceive the shift in the atmosphere around the house as hundreds of night creatures detected the unusual aroma of commingled vampire and witch, or to see the pale green smudges of the 2 ghosts in the keeping room window. I think I read that and went, oh, it's on fire.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah. I was very tired when I was reading the last little bit of this.
I'm glad it's not on fire. Vampire witch scents, I think. Wasn't that how Matthew and Diana described each other's smells? Yes, I think so. She was honeysuckle and chamomile, and he was cinnamon and clove, though.
Ooh,
he was definitely cinnamon and clove. So where did the blackthorn come from?
I think they mentioned blackthorn previously.
Okay. I believe you. I believe you. Probably did. So that was their little bits of blood mixing together. And because I couldn't understand why the house threw the coffin into the fire, because the coffin was what Matthew kept using to keep himself from losing, calm.
Yeah.
So then, why did the house throw it into the fire? I didn't get that.
I think wasn't the drops of blood in it.
Yeah.
So now they're mingled it to create maybe they might use it as a beacon for the future. So if they need to get back.
But it seems like the house
I'm just throwing
volition. Like that it wasn't Matthew and Diana's choice. That was the house doing it. The house is like,
I think the house knows more than it lets on.
I think the house is awesome.
I love the house. I don't know what it is, but like sentient ships, sentient houses, like any of that, love it.
Totally.
Love it.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, you haven't forgotten about the house going on fire. That was just my brain. Yes, this is a full spoiler discussion.
Oh, well, yeah, this is all spoilers. Sorry, guys. The discussion is spoiler full.
Yeah, but I think we I didn't.
It's all our discussions are spoiler full.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I just had so much fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. And I can't wait. I really can't wait for the next one. Like it, especially the way it ended. I was very excited about what's going to come next because they're going to another time. Yeah, my little history buff got excited.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Vanessa. Okay. So we it's meaning spoilers in the sense that we won't know until you don't want to say anything because we won't know until later. Good.
I was excited.
No, we're not getting there yet.
We still have so far to go.
Yes, we do.
I think this was also like a great book club book.
Yes.
Because there are just so many layers and just
a lot of fun things to talk about, a lot of details to talk about. Yeah, I agree.
Are you probably going to read the second book early then?
Antonisha, stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. Not loud. Did you have anything else you wanted to comment on about it?
Let's see. I was going to see. Antonisha said it's like U.S. politics. I think about watching when the House or Senate is in session. They pretend they like each other, get their agenda handled, but are so backstabbing it's ridiculous. Actually, yeah, I guess I should say I do know a government that does that. So it shouldn't seem that strange to me, right? I think Nathaniel and Marcus Bond was done to lead. Oh, wait, already read that. Curious if anything. Okay. What else was there? What did you think about Diana and Matthew themselves? Because we talked about some of the other characters, but what did you think about those two?
I liked both of them. I feel like I was a little bit frustrated.
I'm going to watch the first season, but not the second season, Antonisha, because we haven't gone to the next book yet.
She's going to hold off and do the second book.
That's right. You better.
But that's only because of chunky TBR. I found that originally I got a little frustrated with Diane's what's the right word? It's not hesitation, but like just
unwillingness.
Yeah, her just lack of care for witches. And I understand that it was based in trauma and seeing what her parents had gone through. I fully appreciate the fact that that would have been enough of a turnoff. But even when denial, thank you. That's the one I was. My brain was just not happening. But like, she never really gave it up though. Yeah. So when she's doing these things, she's like, "Oh, this is just the way that I do it." But it's like, right. You were utilizing magic. You're just refusing to accept that. So now that you have realized this, please just, or doing it for convenience sake, like calling the book down. Like she didn't have to. She didn't have to do that, but she was still just like, it's just a small thing. I've only kept a tally of like a couple of times. If you've kept a tally, then that's not okay. You were still using it, so just accept
her being spellbound actually affected that, though. Like, does the spellbinding actually affect the way she thinks about using her magic, or just the ability to use her magic?
Well, see, I feel like that's two-pronged, but we don't know that she's spellbound when it was happening. So
No, we don't.
the
Yeah, so it's easy. Yeah, and it was frustrating. It was totally frustrating. Yeah.
But I think because she would never have used it unless she needed to, because you can't use it if she wanted to, because it's spellbound. So yeah, it is, you know, little column A, little column B, the fact that she wouldn't have been able to if she wanted to, but at the same time, she never just flat out said, I'm not going to use it at all, because, you know, she could still do things. She could still do the puzzle when she needed to figure it out, because she didn't realize that was actually using magic to do it. It's interesting dichotomy.
Yeah, and I also think it's interesting how much she, like, why is she so anti-witchcraft? You know, the spells, the actual spells, she can't stand doing that. And that she has struggles with really, you know, big time. She has no patience for it. But she's so, I don't understand her lack of interest in that when she has so much interest in so many other things that are very detailed and monotonous. And
yeah, it was sort of like just, you know, potentially a plot device to make it that little bit more interesting rather than actual true to form, because as a historian she would know the struggles of witchcraft even without, you know, women that have been persecuted for witchcraft, even though it was just misogynistic society that encouraged behaviors, even though she knew that witches did exist and they were actual witches. But for me it would be like, well, wouldn't you want to support those who have lost their voice because of history? Like,
yeah, I thought it was really strange. Yeah,
it seemed very out of character.
Yeah,
but I think that was just one, like, stupid.
And I was thinking about Matthew too, and how was it Hamish was saying? Was it Hamish the one that was warning Diana that when they go in the past, Matthew's not going to be the same, or was that Marcus, or was that Miriam? Who said that? But someone was warning Diana that when they go in the past,
Marcus.
Huh? Was it Marcus?
I think it might have been Marcus.
They said that you're not going to like Matthew the same way as you like him now in the past, because he's not the same person in the past.
Yeah,
I'm a little worried about that.
I'm curious. Oh no, it was Hamish though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very curious to
that.
see how, like, I don't want his character. I understand that he has a backstory and that he has been through a lot and many years. But I feel like if she's dragging him from the present to the past, he shouldn't change that much. Like, if he has to put on a front to be like, you know, to the public eye, this dude, that's fine. I fully respect that. But actually changing him in and of itself, unless I'm misinterpreting what the time travel actually is, and if he, you know, his two parts merge, so then we do see him back before he had, you know, sort of rein himself in and actually become a decent vampire.
Right. But then, like, but he still then will know Diana, and that they're married. So I don't understand how that's going to work exactly. Or does he kind of settle back into the way he behaves because he's in this setting that is?
I
don't know.
The situations he may be put in the past that would change him more than his actual character.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It makes me nervous because I really like Matthew, who he's become as a person, well, a vampire. I like who he's become today. And I feel like even with Diana, he's grown a lot as a vampire.
Because he's experiencing stuff that he's never felt. Just drawing back to the spellbinding, only affects the use of magic and not the thought of whether she wants to, because she didn't know she was spellbound. They said most witches specialize in magical spells, but not both.
Okay.
could possibly be her inner magic fighting against the witchcraft and spells.
I was wondering, yeah, maybe. Although she has more, like she has a twin that she ingested, so like she has so much more in her than. So weird.
Yeah,
So weird.
that was a lot.
Yeah, that was
That
weird.
that was, but I understand it.
Yeah. Well, and it's the only way you could make sense why she has so many different abilities, because
Yeah,
I couldn't understand how she could have so many different abilities. Yeah. And because I'm like, she's not the ultimate witch, so why does she have everything? But then when they were talking about the DNA and the combining of her siblings' DNA, who would have gotten the other things like witchfire, then it makes sense more so than
mm-hmm.
it's still complicated.
Mm-hmm. I was like, how do you absorb? Okay,
So then she's not
adult.
the chosen one, you know? She's just
She's
absorbed
half
her
of the
brother.
chosen one.
She's half of the chosen. Exactly.
I think that she's unable to do the basic spells due to the bounty, and since she's a perfectionist, she says not to do magic by choice.
Yeah, I get that, but it was hard in the beginning to be patient with her.
Yes. Someone from the past tells her the same things when they get there. So I'm interested to see Matthew in the past.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Imagine getting a do-over, going back to your past with.
No, I'm good.
I would make different choices, but then I would be a different person today, so.
Yeah, I
might be
see. It's like, no, I like you as you. I don't know, because like I wouldn't choose to go in primary teaching. I would just go straight into a librarian course, but then I wouldn't have all the things that made me through going through my education career.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be doing booktube because I wouldn't have found
Yeah.
I found booktube through one of my anthropology courses that I took for my degree, which I wouldn't do if I did the librarian course because they don't marry up. So
cool.
It's like, even just a slight change of changing my degree, well, not a slight change, but not that many years back.
Yeah.
And making a change, because I know that I'm not going to go back into teaching. So why would I do a degree in it if I knew that?
Right. Yeah.
But then I'd also know that I didn't do a booktube channel. So
then we'd never have Paige in our life.
No pages with Paige.
We're
just
not
pages
changing.
With blank.
No. I don't want pages with blank. Oh goodness. That sounds so horrible. Pages with blank.
Doesn't it?
It's so dark. So dark.
You'll be Ash. You will have to do my channel. Pages with Ash. Just all of them on file.
Oh my god, that's amazing. No.
We thought about doing a if we ever became a publishing company, like it's the cycle, because we'd pulp them down to ash to remake the books which make pages.
Pages and Ash.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just us. Or Diana is not like other witches.
No. I mean, she's
nice.
She had some things going for her. Like she had she had the luck of having, being born with her whatchamacallit over her face. And that's considered a lucky thing. And in books like this, those superstitious elements that we may not really believe in real life are realistic in these, because these things actually are real. So like That's a factor. And obviously, her and Matthew are destined in some way. So there is something that has to do with Diana's becoming alive, her being born, and the fact that the congregation, everybody's so afraid for them to see her DNA. She is so important of a witch because of her ability to have all these powers. But then also there has to be something having to do with her ability to be matched up with Matthew. Like that makes them even stronger, makes her even stronger. It's a
Like,
quote for the book. But Diana's not like other witches.
And it's like so interesting seeing that, it's explicitly stated that, but then we're seeing so many different aspects of it and knowing that, yes, she's not because of X, Y, and Z, her fated mate.
Fated? Yeah.
Her fated relationship. Like, there's so many different aspects to it. It's just so interesting.
And I'm glad that Deborah Harkness is actually explaining those things, because, or at least she is, because otherwise you'd be like, oh, she just seems like the chosen one, but why? So at least there's explanations for it, even if they seem off the wall or like there's just too many of them, because it's like, okay, that's a bit much. Let's, we got a lot going on here, but there's still an explanation for everything, that she still can back it up. She's done her research. She's backing it up.
She's really done her research.
Yeah. What I did like a lot about this was I really did enjoy when we, obviously there was a lot of history and detail and whatnot, but I did like the exciting scenes. The action scenes were really good. They did make my heart race. They did get really exciting. The tension was good.
Yes, I feel like even when we were in a lull, there was still enough going on that it never properly dragged for me, but I'm a character-driven reader. I don't need plot to keep me going. I can understand that for a plot-driven reader, it probably lulled for them. But then when it did hit, like, the big scenes, it was full force, hard-hitting, everything's at stake. Like, part of me was thinking, I maybe she might not make it out. Like, I knew that there was 2 more books, but I was like, maybe they're following different characters.
Yeah.
So, I know that authors have done that. So it was genuinely frightful with what she was going through. And then the scene in the, oh dear, I've just got, I read 80 pages of Morningstar, and he was in a hole and started seeing ghosts. And I've done the crossover for both of those. This is why I read this book last.
She was in a vent, like, they had a name for it, but it was the something et.
The Obulette.
Obulette.
Yeah. Obulette. When she was in that, like, and had those really touching moments, that was so lovely, and like still propelled the plot, because we're learning about her unraveling her
past
magic, and like seeing her parents was just yeah, sorry about that. Morningstar, he gets trapped in a hole in complete darkness and bangs his head against brick walls. So rock walls. So I had them both as the same, and I was very confused for a second.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah. And so I had to just like separate those ones.
Yeah.
And then unlocking her powers, like, it's still added to the plot.
Oh, absolutely. I really did like that. I thought I enjoyed the pacing of it. And then hello, Matthew almost died, and then so did that. Like, he should not be able to die. I'm sorry, but like, I can see Diana almost dying, but Matthew is not supposed to be able to almost die. He's 1,500 plus years old. How the hell did he almost? And then the fact that Juliet was the one to just almost in a second, in a heartbeat, less than a heartbeat, was able to slash the poor guy up, and I couldn't believe that. Like,
but
I believe
she's been manufactured to destroy him now.
But how could she get away with that?
She was just that fast. Like, Gerbert made sure that she was catered to destroy Matthew. I don't know how, but he mentally broke her to make sure that she was the fastest, that she could beat him, that she had talents to be able to kill him.
That makes me really scared of Gerbert or whatever his name is, because he is obviously incredibly powerful. I mean, obviously we could tell he was by how creepy he is, but he's more powerful than Diana and Matthew, at least at this point.
Yeah.
So that's
like
scary.
The fact that he broke someone to make a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's
Dude,
sick.
You got some serious issues. Serious issues.
Sick. Yeah. Oh, and then the fact that he created Juliet, like created her as a character. Yeah, for Matthew. But still, like I didn't realize how fragile Matthew was. That's where it was surprising to me. It wasn't necessarily that I don't think Matthew could possibly die. It was just that he was so fragile in that moment that it was like a blink of an eye and all of a sudden he's almost dead. Like that shocked me.
Like Antonisha thought going to die. I found that scene a little bit unnerving as well, with her being like drink. Like I was like,
yes.
Oh, the neck, sorry, or wherever it was.
And how quickly she was willing to just. It was unnerving. I agree.
And like she sold her soul to save this guy.
She did. And what is it?
But you still don't think that they would be able to get far enough to make them bleed without
quickly
their regenerative powers.
Well, and he's so powerful and he's so quick and he's so all these things. How did she just pop in there really quickly and go slash? I don't know. It was shocking. It was very shocking. And yeah, no, I agree with you. That was really unnerving. How quickly Diana was just like, "Here, suck my blood, turn me into a vampire." And granted, I know she's desperate in that moment, but it was uncomfortable, and I think it was written for us to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then especially like seeing the whole family there watching it happen. That made me even more uncomfortable.
Yeah. And like some of them were like, "No, can't do." Like that just desecrates all of our bonds and shit. Like they were uncomfortable. We were uncomfortable. The only ones that weren't uncomfortable were Matthew and Diana, and they were both fucking dying.
And then now we don't know what deal she made with the goddess. What deal did she make?
Oh, I'm curious. I'm curious. And the fact that like her magic turns, like she didn't have the bow and arrow, but she just made the fireball. But for her, she was seeing a bow and arrow. That was awesome.
That was really cool. The magic systems in this is really cool. Like I really like the detail in the magic and the different ways that it's depicted. It's pretty cool. Antonisha was mentioning this. I really love the. I agree with you, Antonisha, that I really love how Diana can feel the different creatures. She can tell the difference between a vampire because it has the icy feel. She can feel and I love that demons have this kissy feel to her. Like I liked that a lot. Those little details made it feel more like you were looking from the eyes of not a human, from the eyes of a witch or from the eyes of a vampire. I did enjoy it a lot.
That's exciting. Yeah, and like, you know, we see the magic from a science perspective, a historical perspective, just general usage. It's all drawn in so many different ways, but it all makes sense together. Like the fact that, you know, we can see it in all those different strands just validates it and makes it that much more believable, because we are reading them as humans.
Yes.
But I could genuinely believe that this, based off her research and the way that she presents it, I could believe that this actually is real.
Yeah.
And
it was very clever.
Perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very clever of Deborah Harkness to be able to create this realistic element of the magic by applying science to it, by taking the science and comparing it to it, and by showing how they can work together. Like I loved that, and that did make, like you said, it really draws you in and makes you feel like this could be real, and it's clever. It's clever writing. I mean, she is a very clever writer. Her brain is fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And I feel like the lack of human perspective was also intentional because she knew the audience that would be reading it.
Mm-hmm.
So we give it the human perspective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because we're
Huh.
reading it through human eyes. We're looking at their story.
Yeah. That's a
So why would
brilliant.
she need to include it?
You're brilliant, Paige. You just
I
had a
have my
very that was
moments.
like a that was like an aha. My brain just went boom.
Don't expect it to happen again for the rest of the year.
You just peaked. You peaked a little early on.
It's fine. I'm used to that. So is Ash Slusbro.
Oh dear.
I'm here for laughs, not for smart comments, mate.
No, you just did. You just made my brain explode.
I figured. I hadn't looked it up, but I was like, the way that she wrote this, there is no fucking way that she is not a scholar. And I could see that she might have been a historian based off the fact that, you know, usually self-insert for authors.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and it made sense too, especially because when I was reading about like even the ring that Matthew gives her is written in Old French, and she pulled up. I don't know Old French, but she was able to. I'm assuming if I did the research and looked it up, those words that she had put there, the little posies, were
Yeah.
in Old French, and like that is to me that the details of that is really impressive because I don't know if a lot of authors go well. If you're a historian, you have to because then you wouldn't be true to your art. You know, like your but I thought that was so cool. All those little details, the old languages that she would pull in, and she'd actually put words in there from the old language.
Yes.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
So cool. Wow.
I know that fact, but god damn.
Yeah, that still surprises me. That's incredible. Yeah. I would probably never want to write again after writing this series because it's so much detail. Like, that's it, guys. I'm done.
Tapping out, guys. Tapping out. Tapping out.
Done.
It really was. It was exceptionally done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, yeah, it was incredible.
One thing that the reason I knew that she was a scholar was the way that she referenced within.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that she would reference a book and have it reference how you're meant to reference. I was like, yeah, okay. Like
She's
the fact
a nerd.
that she, you know, italicized the names of the titles and all of that. Yeah. Like not many people do that in their fiction books because you don't have to.
Right. You don't have to. Gives it more credibility though. I mean, like even though it's not real, like it still gives it more credibility, which is what she's trying to do. She's trying to make this seem as realistic as possible. So,
wait, oh Jesus! I've just looked at the acknowledgements. Because this is a book about books, I consulted a substantial number of texts as I wrote. Curious readers can find some of them by consulting Duray Realm's translation of the Bible, Marie Louise's Bonfrance's critical edition and translation of Aurora Concha's, and Pantheon Books, 1966.
Wow.
In the Paul Eugene Memo's translation of Gaudio Bruno's Heroic Frenzies, University of North Carolina Press, 1964. Those readers who do go exploring should know that the translations here are my own and therefore have their idiosyncrasies. Anyone who wants to delve further into the minds of Charles Darwin has the ideal place to start in Janet Brown's Charles Darwin's biography, 2 volumes, Alfred Knott, 1995 and 2002. And for a lucid introduction to mtDNA and its application to the problems of human history, consult Brian Sykes' The 7 Daughters of Eve, W.W. Norton, 2001. Like,
looking like a true academic.
100%. But I love that she's also included that in the acknowledgements. Not that I ever read acknowledgements.
You don't need a bibliography or references in a fiction.
No, but she did.
No, I love it. I'm just saying briefly. That. Hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's just hit home, like her commitment.
Yes.
To doing this justice. And as academics, we see that in the vibes and the first, third of this, it does shift away from the academic setting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sneeze. But she
really funny to see that, and then mute goes on. Sorry.
That's okay.
Cute.
I've lost my train of thought.
She shifts away from the academic setting, but it's as
but
academic.
We love that. We love that introduction through that setting, through seeing that in that sense, because it is something that's so relatable and just, I don't know, I wanted to be there. I want, not that I ever will. I've said I have to be out of school setting for the number of years that I was in school setting. So I'm not allowed to go back to school until I'm 50.
Oh.
Yeah, I was in schooling for like 25 years. Well, yes. I went to preschool when I was 3, and I didn't have a gap year and did my master's degree
Oh my gosh.
till I was 27, 26.
I'm exhausted for you.
Yeah, me too. So I said, nah, can't go back to schooling. But it gave me that vibe that I miss from studying in that setting. And that was really lovely to connect back with, because it has been tainted a little bit for me. So seeing that and just her fall in love with reading and sourcing references and going through the library settings, like, we're bookish books. Like, we love this shit.
Yeah. Oh, and I do too. And I've gotten so, like you said, it's been tainted. So for me, research like that is exhausting now. It's not fun. But reading about it in this brings back to what I loved so much about it when I was doing it. You know, what excited me about it before I got burnt out.
Yes.
So
100%.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. And it does bring back to the more fun part, because we're not actually doing it, but we get to enjoy the fruits of her nature, of her work.
We get to see her enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a tenuous thing that she was like struggling to do, and the final years trying to scramble and just make it all connect. She was just doing it and having fun.
Yeah, no, I did really like that. Yeah, I'm a big fan. It is going to be hard to wait for the next one, and I recognize, I have to recognize that there were, because I mean, I think that there would be other, you know, you and I liked it a lot, so I think there would be other conversations for people who didn't necessarily enjoy it as much.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can see, like you said, you're a character driven reader, and so this would be considered a much slower paced book for people who are not as character driven, more plot driven, because there aren't as many action sequences in this. So I could see that it would be a little more difficult, but for me it works. So all I can do is praise it. Say,
I like it. I'm curious to see how Danielle gets along with it once she keeps going.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that too, because I know that she was, and that's true for several people in our Discord who were talking about it early on, where it was just, they didn't dislike it, but it was slow going at certain parts. And I think Danielle was kind of saying the same thing for herself, that just starting out, it was a little slow going. There were some parts that were a little more complicated, and she wasn't not enjoying it, just, it was just a little more slow going. And so I think that that's going to be the case that's definitely going to be the case for readers. And I know that what was funny is when I went and looked at the Goodreads reviews on this, there were definitely a lot of high ratings, and I know people that are obsessed with this series, like love it so much that this is their favorite series of all time, sort of thing. But there were so many low ratings. And you said, and they were recent, and you said because the show had come out, or the second season of the show, people are going back and reading the series.
I'd say so, yeah.
And is that because they've watched the show, they love the show so much, now they're coming back to the books and they just can't get into it or something? I couldn't understand why there were so many low ratings. Like low, 1 star. Couldn't stand this thing, you know?
I mean, people feel the same way. I've given Nevernight a 1 star, but people still like that piece of shit. Let me have a look. Sorry. It's fine. Everything's fine. I hadn't actually looked at any reviews for it. Danielle gave it Dashelle gave it a 4. Most of my friends have given it 3 or above. Why? Where are my ratings? There we go. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Like, yeah, so it has 432,000 ratings and 15,000 1,000 are 1 stars.
Yeah. And a lot of them are recent. That's what was.
Sort order, newest. I wouldn't describe myself as a super cultural reader. I give 4 to 5s to most of what I read. I'm leading it with what I read, but I do not recommend it at all. I only read the first 40%. The helpless heroine with an extraordinary ability she denies.
Oh, I guess these are 2011, 2013, so they're not recent necessarily, but they're pretty low. A lot of the top,
yeah,
the top ones that pop up for me, and there's like, this is actually 0 stars, but they gave it 1 because they can't list a 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Anyways, that was just something I was thinking about, because that was something I noticed when I was scrolling through the reviews after, I was just curious. All of the people that I am friends with that have read it have given it 4 or 5 stars, but then I was looking down further at general ratings, and most of the ones that were coming up were the 1, 2 stars, and I was like, well, why are there so many right at the beginning of the reviews?
It's interesting. Yeah, I can see. I think what I would look at is, I've given it 4.5. I could understand why people would give it a 3 star. Like, if it's just not for them, that they're more of a plot-driven reader, they're not big on romance or paranormal entities. Like, I can fully understand that this book is long to be dealing with that. But 1 or 2 star, I suppose it is just subjective, and they just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to hear a perspective. I don't know if anybody in our group gave it a 1 or 2 star. At least they didn't say they did. So
no one that I've seen.
Yeah, everybody said at least a 4 star. So I don't really.
That's in Cinder. That's not helpful.
No, yeah. Of all, I was looking through what people were saying, and most people were saying 4 star and solid 4 star. And that, like, I can understand that. And not that I can't understand a 1 or 2 star, but I just was curious,
what dragged.
Yes. That badly.
Yes. I can agree.
I could see that with some other series. I could see that with Mortal Instruments,
So can I.
I mean, I liked it enough, but I mean, I had fun with it, but I could see it.
But if people go in expecting something, maybe the expectations for what this book is pitched as versus the reality of what it is. Because I did think this was adventure.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was going to be a fast-paced tome, which I read it quickly, but it's not fast-paced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe other people had the same ideas and it just didn't hit the right notes.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that.
You haven't seen my video of me reacting to 5-star reviews of my least favorite books, have you?
I don't know.
I posted it ages ago. Yeah.
Okay, no, but I don't think I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna write that down. I want to see.
It hurt me deeply. It hurt me deeply.
Pages 5-star reacting to your worst favorite books?
Like my least favorite books. Reading 5-star reviews of those, I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? But then I was in less pain reading 1-star reviews of my favorite books because I can appreciate that people probably won't like it.
Yeah.
But if I don't like something, I struggle to see why people rate it higher.
You know what's funny is because I've definitely liked some books that people hated. And so maybe not 5-star, but I've enjoyed them well enough. And I'm always like, I've got to be that one that says, oh no, I can find the value in this. So maybe you're reading one of my reviews and you're
there is some.
I'm going to watch that. That's exciting.
Do it.
Do it, Antonisha.
Or just film it and send it to us. You don't want to post it publicly.
So we can laugh that would be great. Yeah, that'd be great, Antonisha.
I love that as well. Like, her excitement for just finding the different books in Matthew's library was beautiful.
It was very Belle, like in Beauty and
Yes.
the Beast.
Yes.
Yes, that was a very Belle moment. Yeah.
I feel like there are a lot of inspirations
Hmm.
from a variety of different folklore.
I think so
Like,
too.
it's not like, yeah, we literally have the knights. Yeah, we've got the science base, but I feel like, yeah, you've got your homage to Beauty and the Beast. You've got homages to little bits and pieces just sprinkled in. And
Yeah.
obviously, when you're writing a tome, you're probably going to have moments that resemble something else.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was always done with a love for it,
Well, and
like a
especially
little.
considering how bookish she obviously is.
Yes.
So she's going to have those homages to different books or stories because she just loves she loves the library setting. She loves incorporating everything. She is a true academic.
Yes. I'm just trying to see if she no. I wanted to see if there was a photo of her home library.
Oh, that would be cool. I
I
hope
know,
she has an
nothing.
amazing library.
It's mostly just showing discovery of witches in libraries, which is yeah, I feel like I can definitely see myself rereading this way down the track. Maybe when I'm a little bit older as well, just to see and appreciate it that much more.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that too. Um, I definitely think that because it was like we said there's so much in here that if, on a reread you're gonna actually understand more and you're gonna
Yeah.
pick up more and there's so many details that some of it will make more sense now.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Do it.
I recommend reading them physically. The audiobooks are too long, and it took me 6-7 months to finish The Witching Hour. Just know, Antonisha, that they are the most detailed book I have ever read in my whole entire life. And I like Gothic novels, which are very detailed. So just take that for what it is, especially the Witching Hour series. And, she's into the taboo, she's into very taboo sexual relationships. So, I mean, I don't think that bothers Antonisha, but like, that's something for everybody to know out there. And
Now I'm curious.
there's a lot of incest and stuff, like
Oh, I
a
see.
lot of and other stuff. So, um, but and incest is okay in her books. Let's put it that way. But the very, very, very detailed. If you think like I don't think I've read another author that's as detailed as Anne Rice. My book lover. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely start from the beginning and let me know how it goes, Antonisha. I didn't hate it. I liked The Witching Hour well enough, but it was a lot. It was a lot.
I can imagine it is a beast of a book.
It was a lot. And I definitely had some moments where I was uncomfortable. Um,
Oh. I'm curious to hear Antonisha's thoughts if she does
mhm. Yeah.
go through it. It'd
Yep.
be fun. I'm crying because I'm already behind on my TBR. This fucking beast.
Oh, how's that going?
I haven't started.
Oh. Well, it's the
Yeah.
first. Oh, it's the second for you now. It's
Yeah.
okay. Okay. You got 80 pages to read today.
I got yep. Yep. Okay.
Well, here's my beast. I haven't started obviously either yet. Yeah.
Why do we do this?
But I'm not reading mine in 1 month, so you're brave. You're a brave soul.
I have an audiobook. I thank the Lord that I'm not going to have to discuss it succinctly in one chat.
I listened to The Stand. I haven't actually physically read it ever. And I loved I loved The Stand. That was a 5-star read for me. So I'm hoping you enjoy it. But oh, so good. 5 stars. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, without a doubt. My favorite Stephen King. I haven't read enough to say completely my favorite.
Are you okay?
Yes. Oh, I loved it. I am curious to see how you think or what you think.
I'm gonna be in pain.
You can do this. I know you can. Paige, you're tough. You're a good reader. You're a good reader.
I just listen to audiobooks and zone the fuck out and then pretend I read it.
I think it's gonna go faster than you think it is for you.
Yeah, I feel like it will. Like, I read it and had no problems, so.
Mm-hmm. You'd be great.
It'll be
Stephen King's
fine.
pretty easy to read.
Yeah. I've actually read a surprising amount of Stephen King now. Like, I've read It, The Shining, Carrie, and Misery.
I've read Carrie, The Shining, Pet Sematary, The Stand. That might be it.
I think Pet Sematary is the one I want to read next.
It was really good.
It's gonna hurt me.
The audiobook was really good of Pet Sematary. It has the guy from Dexter. You ever seen the TV show Dexter? I've never watched it.
I haven't seen it, but I know him.
Oh, yeah. So good. So good. Some of these actors, when they do, like, they're incredible. Some of these actors for the audiobooks.
Have you listened to A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness?
Mm-mm.
The audiobook is done by Jason Isaacs, I think. He's Draco Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. I did it with my I had a 3-6 class on one of my pracs, and we listened to the audiobook and then did character analysis and all of that through it, because it's not a big book, but it's so beautiful and so heart-wrenching.
That's awesome, because I like good audiobooks. Huh?
Yes.
Sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just saying it was so good.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's the one area of my TBR that I don't set, so I can listen to whatever audiobooks I want.
See, because I usually try and buddy up the audiobook with my physical reads, so I'm like,
you're stuck.
But I don't listen to audiobooks without reading along.
Okay.
Unless, like, I'm getting up to do something quickly, and then I go back to sitting down and reading, because I just go through it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What do we miss?
Amrice is slow to get into, not fast or even medium paced.
No, not at all.
Oh,
it's about time, Antonisha. About time. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you. That wasn't my favorite, but like I think I will enjoy it more now going back and reading it, having read the rest of the books. You know.
Yeah. My friend gave the last in the Assassin's Apprentice series 3 stars. She was like, I was so mad.
I think
completely just distracted for her. I mean, fair enough. I understand. But, oh, good Lord.
That book should have been the second book. And then not Madship, the Royal Assassin should have been the final book. That's just my opinion.
I can see that. I can fully appreciate that.
Yeah. Assassin's Quest. What did I give it? I think that might have been my lowest rating of the 3.
It was my highest rating because I didn't read fantasy when I read Assassin's Apprentice, so I gave that a 3 or 4 stars. Looking back, I would probably give it a 5-star now, but I'm not going to reread it. Royal Assassin, I really, really loved it. And then, I don't know, I just think I had the momentum going, so I was like, yep, this is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you like the ship? Would you give 5? Yeah. I don't think I gave Madship 5 stars. I think I gave it 4.75 or 4.5, just because it took me too long to get into it.
Yeah.
But whereas Ship of Magic was perfect. Like that one was
Have you finished Ship of Destiny?
No, but I'm loving it.
Okay.
So that one's not taking me long to get into. It's just that I've had so many, and then with all the books I was reading on my road trip, like I just had to put it down, and then I haven't. Yeah. I'm like 300 pages into it, so I'm going to be reading that one now that Discovery of Witches is down. Ship of Destiny's up again. Like that's going to be my next priority.
Did you finish The Never-Ending Story?
Not yet. No, I've started. I mean, but I've gotten 100 pages in all those. I'm not doing a freaking total I can't do it anymore. I have to finish all those books. So this first week of the month is actually going to be me finishing a lot of books.
You'll be right. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
You've got this.
I can't do secret TBRs because then I never get anything else.
I don't do anything that requires me to read like vlogs and stuff because
so
I cannot
fun.
deviate.
I
know. That was like that's why my word association one that I got you to help me with took like 3 months to come out because I had to get them all on the TBR or like try and sneak them in as a graphic novel just when I could.
Yep. Yeah.
But it was hard. It was hard.
Well, I have one that I finally read one book for it. I've put more of them back on they were all on my TBR like in January or February. Didn't happen. Now they're back on my TBR this month. Let's hope they happen because otherwise I'm never going to get that video done.
Oh dear.
Ever.
We'll get there.
Well.
We got sprints mid-month. Like, you'll be sweet. We'll get you sorted.
I'm excited.
Thank you, Ash. That makes me feel a lot better. That's for the stand.
Yeah.
I have a month.
Oh. It scared you so much. Okay. I didn't find it that scary, but it takes a lot to scare me. I get grossed out easily, but scared with books is harder.
What was it? No Exit? Did that gross you out?
Yeah, there was a couple of cringy moments, but I never felt scared. Mom's heart was racing the whole time we were listening to it, and I was like, I told Mom, I'm like, I'm dead inside. I'm dead inside. But there were moments because there was a lot of body horror in that one. So there were moments that I was like, ugh, because they're like, ugh, you picture yourself getting that happen, have that happen to you, and you're like,
oh, It, as in It, Stephen King. No.
Oh, It scared me so much. So I haven't read or seen
Apologies.
It, not The Stand. Okay, sorry about that. I haven't seen The Stand either. Nope, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it or read it. It's very difficult to talk about that book because it could be anything, but it's it.
I've read it, and I've
seen it.
I have not. I have not. I am pet. In all technicality, my ex-boyfriend thought it would be a great idea to take me to go see chapter 1 of the new ones. I spent the entire time watching it through my shirt, and may or may not should have realized then that I should have dumped him rather than hold out for another 8 months.
We always make choices, don't we?
But I haven't seen chapter 2 because that traumatized me. And then I went to watch the Tim Curry version, but I thought it would be better to watch someone else reacting to it. I got 2 minutes into their video and went, no, can't do it. This is causing me too much anxiety.
Well, because you're watching somebody else's reaction, so of course they're like,
well, she was fine. She was totally chill. Oh. And I was just like, I can't. Opening credits. No.
Oh, yeah. You just stay away from those scary movies, Paige. Just stay away from them. You don't need them.
I like sleeping.
Yeah.
Also, that video was 2 hours long rather than the 3 hours that is the movie.
Oh, my gosh.
I do like Jason Isaacs.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanisha's doing Assassins in April, and then the next Throne of Glass. When are sprints? The
15th? Was that? Were you okay with that?
Cool. Yep. Sounds.
They're on your channel.
Oh. That's Easter.
Well, 16th. Are you going away for Easter?
Bathurst. No, it would be on the Sunday. Yep, we're good. The 16th for the 15th. That one.
Well, what is that the right day for you?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Because I don't think you had said whether or not it worked for you. So we said that works for us, but we weren't sure if it worked for you. It's on your channel, so you hold all the power here.
Yeah, no, that's fine. All good. We're going over to Ash's family's for Easter, and I just went, wait, is that Saturday or Sunday? But she specifically said that it would be Sunday, so that's fine. Yeah.
So it is going to be Antonisha on the 15th for us here in the U.S. The 16th if you're in Australia with Paige, and the time zone will come out on the video, or the time will be on the link.
5 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
Pacific Standard. Oh, BST is
BST.
British. Never ignore me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, BST.
Pacific.
What time your time?
For me, it is 11 a.m. Actually, we're going back an hour tomorrow.
12.
So yeah, it'd be 12 p.m.
12 p.m. Okay.
12 p.m. AEST.
Okay.
Why do we have to have different?
And then the hopping, I just.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I've only watched the Stan TV show when it first aired. I didn't even know there was one.
The book? I've never watched a show either, but the book.
Started it for you.
Oh, I've read. What is the one that I've also read? Stephen King's 19, whatever it is, the John F. Kennedy one.
Oh, No Sephora. No, that's Joe.
Oh, they're thinking Joe Hill. No, what is the
19? Give me a sec. I've got Antonisha's buddy. Wait, where's Antonisha's? Antonisha, I don't have your Discord channel anymore. Where'd it go? 11/22/63. That's the one.
That's it. I've read that.
I'm glad you know.
I've read that one. Sorry, it just randomly popped in my head. Oh, I've read another thing of Stephen King.
Well, that was supposed to be for Antonisha's buddy for November of that
last year.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I read it. Thank you. I think the thing that hurt me most was the fact that I was listening to the audiobook while reading along. So it glossed over some of the scary bits, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
But then he mimicked a little girl's laughter. So this is a grown-ass man on 3.5 times speed doing a little girl's laugh. Oh my God, petrifying. Absolutely traumatizing. Never again. No.
That's awesome. Okay. I have to read it.
Because I just glossed over all the scary bits.
Mm-hmm.
But then that laugh is drilled into my brain for all eternity.
I love that. I'm sorry, I'm cruel. What can I say?
That's fine. It's fine. Okay. Do it.
Yep. Read it.
Oh, Rob Lowe's in it.
Mm.
Interesting. Okay. Once I get through this, I'll actually investigate further.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it too.
I
definitely love the book. Pages? So, although right now I'm worried about Discovery Witches. That's what I got to watch next. So, and I'm not good at watching TV shows either, just because I have other things I need to do. So, I should be reading instead. Although I
need to be reading and editing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I knew that you'd come to the rescue with the 11/22/63.
11/22/63.
Yes, it was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
That just throws me off.
It's like I've really screwed up my friend with the Stand By Me along, calling it the Stand By Me, because that's based off another Stephen King book, The Body. But it's not based off the Stand.
The movie is called Stand By Me, though, and it's based off the... Yeah. The
Stephen King book, The Body. Yeah. Not The Stand. They're two separate. And then, so she's like, why are you doing this to me? I feel personally attacked.
Trying to break her brain.
Pretty much. It worked.
I love it. And if I wasn't reading Les Mis, I would probably reread The Stand. No, I wouldn't, because I
No, you have too many other things on your
too many
TBR,
other things. I still
including
need to
Les
finish
Mis.
Ship of Destiny. Yeah.
I'm sad I haven't got a chance to pick up Ship of Destiny. It was as one of my optionals for Pluto, and I couldn't fit it in.
No, you've got too much going on. Your months have been crazy busy, Paige. Like, it's a bit much.
I think I don't know my own limitations currently.
I just think there's too many fun things, you know? You're always like, oh, that sounds fun. Oh, that sounds fun. This sounds fun. Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'll set up. Like, the thing is, I'm more than happy to be part of BookStara, but then I decided to do Tarrying Through Time, which was a mistake because now I have one of those books. And then I will always sign up for at least 1 or 2 more buddy reads. And then I have a TBR game that does not allow flexibility.
No.
But that is the life of being a booktuber and having a lot of fun and stress.
Yes. 100%. Absolutely.
I apologize, this is like detoured very far from Discovery of Witches
yes.
for most of this chat.
Yeah, I feel like we talked Discovery of Witches well, though. I mean, I hope everybody heard everything that they wanted to hear. If there was anything else that anybody thought that we should have discussed that we didn't, we can talk about it with the next book.
Yeah.
Or if you want to bring it up really quickly. But I feel like we did good. As far as
the only thing we didn't touch on is like any negatives we've really felt, but we did briefly with Diana and her magic. Like, that was the most frustrating thing, I think, for most people, was her just reluctance.
Yes. I thought that when I was reading through the comments, that was one of the biggest things. 3 books this month. Ooh, are you doing Tome Topple? Because why?
just do Tome Topple.
Yeah, you might as well just do Tome Topple. That was the thing I saw the most complaints about, I think, in the Discord, was people's thoughts about Diana and being so frustrated with her for not using her magic. And that was the main. I mean, granted, there were a lot of comments about the slowness of it. So, like, those are the 2 main things I saw was Diana being frustrating and the slowness of the book. So
yeah, for sure.
And can totally understand both those feelings. So
yeah, 100%. I feel like
those feelings.
Definitely understandable, but I also feel like not many people felt like it detracted from the reading experience in that regard, though. Like, it would be a 4-star instead of a 5-star if it was that little bit too slow. And we sort of got that explanation for Diana as well. Like, yeah, there was a little bit of fishy, her not wanting to as well, but for the most part, she couldn't. If she had actively wanted to use her magic, she could not. So we did get some support for that as well.
Yeah, and I feel like, at least based off what I was reading of people's comments, it sounded like people were frustrated with Diana, but they didn't dislike Diana because of that, you know?
Yeah, whereas Clary, I was like, get your shit together.
She's just so annoying. Yeah.
Stop.
That was definitely the difference, is there may have been a lot of frustration with her character, but not necessarily dislike of her character. Yeah. Whereas with Clary, it was easy to dislike her because she was so annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sums it up, or at least what I have seen, because I do pay attention to as much to the Discord chats and stuff as possible to make sure that we're representing everybody's voice in this. And I know that my mom was saying how the ending was just a little too slow for her. You know, it was just a little too, it wound down to that it was just kind of crawling along at the end. And I didn't have the same experience, but I could see how you would feel that way. If you're looking for that climax at the end, right before you get into the next book, you're not going to get that from Discovery of Witches.
No. Yeah. I can appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Did anything of the words just fucked up the words? There was a sentence and it stopped. Yeah.
City of Bones.
Okay. Fair. Mm-hmm. I'll keep going because I'm a masochist.
I like it well enough. I had fun reading it. I'm irritated by the characters, but I had fun with it.
I think it's easy to read. It's not a chore to have to read it.
Yeah, I think I gave it the highest rating of the 3 of us.
I think so. Yeah. But
So
that's fine.
no, I'm just saying, like, I think it'll be fun to continue on, and I'm hoping that, I know that I had read the Clockwork or the Infernal Devices once before, and I think that that series is better.
Yeah,
And so it'll be fun to go back and read that series at some point and see, you know, that's what
how
kept me
it'll.
going. Easy read. Yeah, and it is her debut novel, so it felt like a debut novel, whereas this book, Discovery of Witches, does not feel like a debut novel.
No, it 100% would not have thought that.
No, absolutely not.
I think for me, I'm going to try and read whatever 3 you read between. So you do the 3 Mortal Instruments, 3 whatever series, and then the remaining 3 Mortal Instruments is like one recommended way of reading. So I think I'm going to try and read those 3 in July.
I think that yeah, July was the month, right?
Yeah, I think that.
Yes, July was the month. So I'm going to try and read those 3 Infernal Devices in July as well.
I doubt it will happen, but I'm going to try.
I mean, they're fast reads too. So if they're as fast as City of Bones is, then we'll get them quickly.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I could read one at the beginning of the month, give it a couple, read another one. And I don't, like, I could read 2 in July, and then I don't read the City of whatever till the last week of the month anyway. So I could read the 3rd one at the beginning of the month.
It's every other month too. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Or July is the month off, but then yeah, if I read it, okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's summer.
Pluto might not allow me. It's the middle of winter for me, so I will not be going outside.
Seems works for you. I don't have school. You don't have to leave the house.
Yeah. And honestly, they are very quick reads, so I don't think it's going to be too taxing. But
okay, no, I don't think so either.
If you can make it through 3, you could skip 5, 6, and 7 and feel like you can complete the series. But sorry, I know Ash also really
fast reads are my favorite so far out of Cassie's series. Okay, meaning the Infernal Devices, right?
Yeah.
I liked them. I read them a long time ago, but I really enjoyed those ones. And it's fun because they're set in that steampunk era, which was a cool twist on the Shadowhunters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm keen for that. I'm continuing with the series because I know it's going to get better with other series.
Yeah.
But it's also a big commitment. Like, there are fucking 15 books in this world or something.
Yes. Yeah, but I've heard the later ones too, like the more recent ones are really good. So I'm excited. You know, it's fun I'm enjoying it. It's easy to read and they're fun reads, and she has some really cool ideas. So I would really be interested in seeing her progress as an author, like see how her work grows and how her writing improves as she continues on. I'm excited about it.
And character development. So I don't want to hit them in the face with a fly swatter.
She kind of like back character developments, you know, like she gives you the character development after you've already created opinions about the characters.
Yeah.
Fly swatter opinions.
I've told you about the fly swatter, right? When I was teaching. Oh, that was like my method for keeping me calm when I was teaching and the kids were being little shits. I would just imagine like I was sitting there and they were frustrating me. So I just imagined sitting there with a fly swatter and just go, shut up. Shush. Worked like a charm. Well, I couldn't actually hit him with a fly swatter, so doing it mentally worked well enough.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Kept me calm, so I didn't lose my shit at them.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, your own emotional regulation's more important than the kids.
True.
But yeah, that so if I ever mention a fly swatter, that's where it's
now I'll know
from.
Now I'll know.
Yeah.
I love it.
Clary could have this demo.
Clary needed a fly swatter for sure. Yeah.
I'm no longer teaching. Do not take anything I say as a good piece of advice.
I'm not taking that information. I'm not taking that as advice. Mom thinks it's effective, but see, mom would fly swat too.
Yeah, but
Imagine it. I'm sure that I'll have my moments. So far, the Infernal Devices and the new series are the two best. Okay.
Oh.
Is the new series the Artifices, something Artifices?
Dark Artifices?
That's it. Dark Artifices.
So that's Chain of Iron and
Lady Midnight and all that
Oh,
stuff.
wait, no, that's not. That's not right, because that's Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness, but there's a newer Chain of Iron.
What I'm bummed about
Last Hours. That's the most recent.
Hours. Okay. What I'm bummed about that is that look who it is.
Hello, kitty. Kitty.
Say hi. The Magnus Bane one didn't get good reviews at all, but I love Magnus Bane.
I know. I'm curious. I'm curious to see. But it's
sad.
The Red Scrolls of Magic or whatever.
He's my favorite character so far.
Same. He's the only one I didn't want to fly squatter.
I can't wait to see how often you bring the fly swatter out for City of Ashes. We have so much to look forward to this month.
I know. The Bane Chronicles? That's the collection of...
That's the Bane Chronicles.
That's the one. Okay, cool. Antonisha loves Magnus.
Yes.
With a fiery passion. I prefer Matthew.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Matthew. I'm like, I sent you some inappropriate memes.
Yes.
About how I felt about Matthew. Feel very strongly about Matthew. Well, now that we have completely fallen off the Discovery of Witches train again.
Do this. It's fine.
I know, it's great. It's just so good to spend time with you, Paige.
I know. I love spending time with you, and I'm just like, we can just talk about everything. Like, what's the matter?
I mean, we're talking about our other book, like, yeah, totally.
And teaching methods that are slightly concerning.
Oh dear. Mom gives it slightly delay.
It makes me so happy. All right, shall we conclude for tonight for you?
I guess we have to.
Okay. Oh, many sads.
Many. We have so many books to read. You gotta go read 80 pages of The Stand. Because I heard that it's 40 pages a day or it's 80 every other, right?
And I sort of want to finish this and
oh yeah, and all the others,
and finish this one and we'll get there.
It's the first. That's just horrible. I'm not ready. I'm still on my March books.
You will get there. I believe in you.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. Let's go make some progress in our reads. Let's do it. Thank you for giving us some giggles as well, Shazza.
Yeah, she's good with the giggles.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for joining us. The 15th, 5 p.m. Pacific time on my channel for mid-month reading sprints, and we will see you then.
Yeah, and we haven't figured out discussion yet, so don't ask.
We'll let you know sometime. Good night and afternoonish. Thank you.